Welcome to the Digital E-commerce podcast, where we explore innovative ideas and strategies to elevate your business in the digital age. I'm your host, Dylan Lam, and today we have a very special guest joining us. Leila Cairns is the co-founder and co-CEO of TheHealTea, a brand that's redefining wellness with its organic, caffeine-free, BPA-free beverages. TheHealTea is making waves in North America with its commitment to truly natural ingredients and holistic health. Leila is also a certified business coach, helping entrepreneurs transform their stories and unlock their full potential. Today, we'll be diving into the golden nuggets of her journey, from building a mission-driven brand to scaling in the competitive wellness industry. Get ready to learn strategies that can inspire and empower your own entrepreneurial path. How are you today, Leila?
Oh, really great. Thanks for having me here, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Can you share a story about behind TheHealTea and what inspired you to get started with the wellness beverages brand?
Yeah, absolutely. So there were many things that came about, but mostly we were thirsty for something to drink and we couldn't find anything that had all our health criteria. So we were looking at the conventional set. It's refined sugars, it's unnatural, and it has, all sorts of synthetic ingredients inside, but most of the time it tastes good. And then you have the alternative set that is, has maybe fermentation, has probiotics, has things that are good for us, but the taste is either 0 calories, tastes super sweet, or the taste is not quite there. Like if we think of kombucha or etc., like a lot of people didn't like that. So then my business partner is an Italian chef and he owns 3 restaurants. And he was like, well, why don't we make a ready to drink made of like functional herbs? And then I was like, yes, that's exactly what we need. And we kept it simple. It's really 2 real brewed herbs, lemon juice as the only natural preservative, and a little bit of maple syrup just to remove the tanginess from the lemon. So that's it. And that's how we got started. But it was also, my father had a bad habit of drinking very popular sodas, let's just put it like that. And he had open heart surgery, emergency. And the surgeon said, if he doesn't stop that bad habit, I don't know what I can do for his arteries. They're all like, breaking apart. So he took on TheHealTea right away. He replaced his bad habit with a good one. And he's doing well. He's super healthy now.
Cool. Let's talk about from scratch. Start with TheHealTea. What was your first step? Normally, do you start from locally? Do you start foreign?
Yeah. So when we got started, we didn't know anything about the industry business. Like I said, my business partner has 3 restaurants. He's in food, but I was a stay-at-home mom. And before that, I did day trading. I worked in CPG a little bit in beauty products, which is similar, but not the same as food. So the first thing we did is when we had the idea, is there a market? So we went to universities and all that stuff to look for the data, because data is key, right? If we don't have data, if we don't know if the market's looking for a product like ours, then no use launching a product that nobody wants. So, and then we saw from a lot of statistics that, oh my God, the industry is just booming in functional food and beverage. The biggest segment that's increasing right now is functional beverages. So beverages like us, even before functional foods. So, and that, is a trend that keeps going, and it's actually not a trend. It's a lifestyle change. So it's something that's going to stay.
So why herbal tea, as in why not Chinese tea or jasmine tea?
Yeah. So there are a lot of beverages with caffeine, right? Like even colas have caffeine, hot chocolate has caffeine, black tea, green tea, kombuchas, coffee, energy drinks. So what do you drink in between? There wasn't a lot. There was maybe sparkling water, but it's synthetic and there's no added benefits beside, it's water, which is good for you. So we decided to go with plants that are naturally caffeine free so that we don't get the, heart palpitations or extra stress. We realized that 90% of the population is affected by caffeine, is sensitive to it. So that means there's only 10% of people that can drink coffee before bed and really have no impact. So everybody is sensitive, and everybody looks at, oh, I already have a coffee today. I'm not going to have another one. Oh, it's already 5 p.m. I'm not going to have something with caffeine. I'm not going to sleep. So what do you drink in between? Well, it's all the herbs, and the herbs all have functional benefits. So contrary to what you think, grabbing another energy drink makes you think you're going to be more productive, but actually it's just making you more stressed. Caffeine adds stress, and that's it. That's all it does. So if you take functional herbs like ginger, nettle, rosemary, all those have herbs that help you stay, just at the right place and help you see the whole forest and not just the trees. So it's like taking a step back. And when you take a step back, you're like, oh, I can see the whole vision here. So it's reducing stress, reducing all those bad reps that we get from caffeine.
How do you validate the whole idea? So you said that you have a data point of view from the university academic papers, or you have run say an test in Facebook group. Like, what else did you do to validate the whole idea before you go all in?
Yeah. So firstly, we did a lot of testing. So we had people try the product, liquid to lips, like we say in the industry. So when they tried the product and they liked it, and everybody liked it all the time, like they were like, wow, this is so good. Wow, this is so good. So it's crazy. Like I wish I could, because here in Quebec, we can't just film anybody and put it on social media. We have to ask for their permission. So, but everybody all the time, that's the reaction we have. So testing, especially a food product is, something people have to try. Number one is taste buds. So, number two is the ingredients. Number three is the price. So then we got to looking at how do we commercialize a product like this? Like we didn't know, we went to food engineers that we were able to do it at the restaurant kitchen, but how do you scale to make it a beverage that's in a can, that's super stable, that's all with all the certifications for food. So we looked at food engineers. We called the government to ask for, they have, food subsidies that are specialized in food in the government. They told us what certifications to get. So we got grinding. We just got, and then we talked to people in the industry and we were like, how do we do this? How do we do that? We went into cohorts or masterminds of beverage products. And as in the beginning was hard for me. We didn't find a lot of resources. So that's why I became a business coach, because I'm going to go give myself the credentials of what I'm looking for, basically. So, but then now there's a lot more tools. It's a lot easier since COVID and Zooms and all that stuff. It's been a bit easier to find and to connect with people. So yeah, if I would say any advice to anybody is connect with people in your industry. That's the best thing.
And say if our audience want to start a branding, right? How much? What's the amount they have to invest to validate their product?
We were pretty we've been told that in the industry to start a beverage brand, it's a couple of $1 million in our, with those big scale. They do a lot of testing. They have a whole department in R&D. They have, so for us, let's say in the beginning, it was about 200,000 Canadian dollars. So we invested, there was a grant that helped us pay half of the food engineers, which is a big cost. It's like maybe 50K. So that paid half. And then you have to produce. So that's your biggest cost. You have to buy the cans, the ingredients and all that stuff. So you have to produce, and then you have to start selling. And then there's a shelf life. Thankfully, ours is 2 years, which is pretty good. But we did all those tests with the food engineers. And then we got, we had to, as soon as we got the cans, we had to hit the ground running and find buyers. So that was I didn't know how to sell to a grocery store or a food service. So it's knocking on doors. I'm like, I have this product. How do I sell to you guys? Sometimes they were like, oh, you have to reach out to head office. Sometimes it's like, oh, I can take some. Or sometimes they're like, oh, not right now. It's not that the season for us, or we're already full. We have a lot of beverages. So then it's keep going. And you learn from trying and calling people and learning and asking questions. And not being shy.
I love how you create a group, stay lean, get the grant from government, and then bootstrap it. I mean, that is the most effective way to really ease out on the problem. So what we have here is this something. So I'm from Hong Kong originally, right? So I know quite a bit a lot of government funding. We have several funding to prepare. One is called EMF, kind of I don't know what to stand for, but if you just type it on there, we can find it. So that was gonna be 10 grand. That's 10 grand. No, that's 15. Whichever you maximum is 10 grand, 15 grand. So if you spend 30 grand, you can claim 15 grand. Yeah, so that's the idea for EMF. And we even have another that is 1 million. It's called BUD. It's called BUD. And that is that is
you don't have, it's like different than EMF. What we do is we have to apply the credit from the government, and they will, I mean, of course, you can 1 million immediately. Oh my God. Hey, Alexa.
Okay.
Alexa, stop.
she wants to join the conversation.
Oh God. Okay. So yeah, and then the beauty is like you can 10 each time until you get 10 grand, 100K each time until you claim 10s for 10 projects. Yeah. So that's the idea. So one is about you spend first, and another one is like you have to you can claim in advance, but of course the business size have to be big enough to show them that you are already making money, you have and therefore you can claim like the amount from the government, right? Is that something that you guys are using? Is it similar? How many grants do you guys have that you can share to our audience?
Yeah, there's a lot in Canada, and in Quebec, especially in our province, there's a lot, because they want especially in the food hub, they want our products to be renowned in the rest of Canada and out of Canada. Funding grants for export. So, and it's basically like you said, most of the time it's you spend the money, you have $100,000 to spend, they give you back maximum 50. So if you spend $200,000, it's still $50,000, and you have to spend it. You have to prove that you spent it, and you have to spend every dollar. If you spend 99,000, then it's a problem. You have to spend $100,000 exactly, and then you get 50,000. So there's grants like that. That's Can Export, it's called. There's SEB, there's PCSE. Those are all exports that I know. And then there's small local business offices that can help your local city. We got $10,000 when we started from them. And it was just to prove that it's sustainable, that it's going to grow, and invest time. Most of the time it's investing, because there's class, there's experts, there's mentorship that comes with it. So you have to invest the time to follow the classes. The last class I just got 3 weeks ago was 3 full days of experts that helped me build an export plan, because I had one, but they fine-tuned it and now it's ready to go. And that's good for get grants, and also good for getting, if you need loans or investors interested. So it's good in all the spheres of your life. But there's awards that you can win. Sometimes you spend $50, $100, and then you can win 10, 50, 100,000. You subscribe your brand to those things. There's grants, or Shark Tank, Dragon's Den, stuff like that we can do, that really helps get your product known, which we did a local dragons here, and it really helped in Quebec. So things like try to look. Sometimes we hired a consultant that does that full time for us. So he looks at all the possible grants, federal, city-wise, and even funding. Sometimes there's a grant right now with the city that you can get $50,000 in money, and then they give you a free $50,000. So you have a $50,000 loan, and then added to that is another $50 free that we don't have to reimburse. So, but you have to build projects. So you have to build the whole strategy. Say, okay, we're going to launch a new beverage flavor, and this time, and this is the market, and this is what so it's always pitch decks that we have to build to prove to everybody that we're on the right track and we have the right strategy. So.
Yeah, that's what we do as well. Like we have, we kind of like already 400K already, and like at this point, like our Facebook account got shut down, and then like we wasn't able to spend like 50K. We have to return that 50K to them. That was like stressful, because we have to spend that because they give the fund to us in advance. So
yeah,
I mean, we always like use the fund in advance already, and so we wasn't able to repay back afterward.
Oh, wow!
But different cities, like different countries, like different fund. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Would you consider open up a Hong Kong entity, or maybe a US entity, if you know that there is a funding to become?
Yes, definitely. We've been told, and I've asked a lot of experts, this is the best strategy to go about, export and all that. In the States, I was told it's best to have an entity. So we're looking into that. We just started exporting in the States, and it's and we just wanted to see the market first. What was the reception? And the reception's great. So that means now we can find the money, invest, a lot, because it's a big market. it's 10x here in Canada minimum, and just like in one state like New York or California. So we have to find a lot of building the right entity in the right state is also super important, because some states will have better laws to protect you in case of lawsuit. And we know the United States is very prone to lawsuits and things like that. And other states are better for tax purposes. So you pay less taxes or no taxes. So you have to find the right sweet spot of what you think. Is it a product that's going to be very much lawsuits, or is it, because it also helps once you get investors and all that stuff, if you're able to prove that your business is in the right spot, and or able to, hey, you're not going to pay taxes on your shares when we make profit and all that stuff. That's like sometimes 15-16% interest that they don't have, or taxes they don't have to pay, which is, benefits in your pocket. So it's all a strategy that you have to look at and make sure that it's the right fit. And for that, and then there's also, like you were saying, grants so you have to look at that too. So ideally you get help from people who know, like a fiscalist and lawyers that know exactly, oh, there's so many grants here, it's more worth it there than the tax credit, so you're better to go there. And you have to do the right strategy that way.
Exactly. I think grant is definitely everywhere, that we just have to find it, and it's actually a good segue for us to use them to bootstrap our. Because without those grants, sometimes e-commerce could be hard, like if you're not in the place or not at the right time. It's very interesting, but I don't want to spend all the episode to talk about the grant. I mean, we wanted to. So if you guys are interested, like we might be able to like pull some different speakers together, and then we just all speak about their countries in the future. If you back in the days, I always teach about funding to crowdfunding using Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Those are another way to get funding as well. Government grants another funding, bootstrapping another funding. So there's really no reason for us to not start a business, because like you're accessible by the bank loan, and then government loan, and crowdfunding marketing loan as well. So we'll talk about that in the future. But it was super insightful, Leila.
Thank you.
Let's talk about e-commerce. So what's the one golden nugget advice that you can give someone that is just starting out in business, like or maybe in a highly competitive industry like herbal tea?
For e-commerce, it was not our first strategy. Like, we wanted to be in retail because we wanted to have that intel from the retail stores. Is there a market for us in the retail? Are people going to buy it in retail amongst like 50,000 other products? Do we fit the mold? Is it worth it? Are people receptive even in a competitive market? Even if you're fighting against butter, it's not the same at all, but people have a limited budget and they're going at the grocery and all that stuff. So we started out there, and then we realized we have no data on who's buying. Like, we don't know who's buying. And that was like, because we sell in retail, you sell to a distributor, a broker sells to the distributor sells to the store sells to the person, so the consumer. So you don't know who it is. So we were like, we need data on the person. And that's when we started our e-commerce. And that's when we know it's Julie or Dylan or Leila buying the product. So, and you talk to them directly and you get all the data. The data is yours. It's their emails, their following, their messaging, they have things to say, so you can evolve your product. It's a direct feed it's the only direct feed that you have with your consumer. So it's, I would say, the most important channel because of that. And second of all, because your margins are yours. Like, yes, you have basic fees from your platform, so Shopify, etc., but you don't have anything else. Like, even with Amazon, a great platform, it's the place to be. If you have a product to sell, you need to be on Amazon. Amazon is the Google of products. So, but you don't have direct data on that consumer either. You can have analytics, but it's not, you don't know exactly if it's Julie and does she like hiking, or, we can even stalk our consumers a little bit. We're like, okay, I see that she has pictures, on her profile. She goes hiking, she's on a bicycle. So then we know that we have to target people that are, this age and love hiking or mountain biking, or so it's more. So having your own platform is the most important, even if it's not your paying channel. It's the most important because your margins are better and because you have direct access to your consumer, and you can try things. You can even try special products. You can try other prices. You can try strategies, and then when you do, if you have a Shopify or an e-commerce store, it's easy. You click, and people are, I would say, lazy, and I'm guilty of this too, in a sense, like, okay, I like this, click, and it's home. I don't want to, where is it? Where do I have to go get it? And which store? So it's the easiest way. So when you do spend $1,000, $10,000 a month on ads, you get a return instantaneously, because you can track the client, where they shop, where they go on other sites, and it's the best way to know how to build your company. Just for the data and the intel, it's the most important.
Amazing. What strategies have for HealthTea to create a loyal customer base? Is that the click that you're talking about there?
Yeah, definitely. Also, like guerrilla marketing and off online marketing has helped a lot. So whenever we are at events or we're in front of people or networking, we always have access to a coupon, so they can go online and buy it right away or on. So we connect with them there. We try to do a lot of giveaways, for sure. That helps. Giveaways, collaborations with other brands that are healthy or in the same industry or connected, that have values aligned, because then they have the same kind of consumer. So we do a lot of labs, like a Christmas giveaway you're going to get from this company, just subscribe. Or and the best way is to get the actual, because on social it's fine, it's good, like click but I don't find that we've changed our focus, and for a while we were trying to get our followers, but then we saw that followers are great and it's great, but we're not a influencer. We are a product business. So the best is ads, and it's engaging with the clients, giving giveaways, and getting the direct, like, newsletters is our best way of selling. To like, it's for sure, when we send out a newsletter, we get a lot of sales. So it's to get those emails worth it. So whatever we do, we always use strategies for giveaway, get the email, or we try to, that for us is the best way to connect with the consumer.
Yeah, email is king, I assume.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your ratio. Like, are you like on Amazon more, Shopify more, or like does it generate more on email or retail?
Yeah, we are really much more retail and food service. So any restaurants and chains and all that stuff, that's where we prioritize, because we saw that also when we do ads, then people are out and about, and then when they find us, they buy us because they've seen us online. So they buy us online, but they buy us on retail too. So it's good to drive them in both. But we will put more effort and more time into e-commerce, because we've seen that it's the most, like I said before, like the most important for data, because your margins are yours. They're not anybody else's. You get a little bit of fee for your transaction, but that's it. And I would say that's probably the place I would start for any type of business, is online. I mean, it's you don't have to buy a retail store. You don't have to pay rent. You could just try to see from a platform and a bit of money in ads if your product works, and then you launch it to some. We did like the other way around, because we had a physical product. E-commerce, when we started, it was big, but it wasn't that big. It wasn't the place to be. So yeah, we're kind of shifting things a little bit more now.
And how do you balance local customer and international customer?
Yeah, right now we are available all throughout Canada, and we're available in a few in United States. Amazon, we're available everywhere in Amazon, because it's easier. But once you do your Shopify store, then you have to pay taxes in all the states that you sell. When it's direct to consumer. So we're just going to be strategic there and do like California and Florida, where we're the most present, because it's a lot of effort to legally just to set everything up, and then we'll go. And I mean, just with $10,000 of ads on Amazon in the States, you could be a multi-million-dollar company. So selling a product, it's the people are there. If you do it right, if you set it up right, if you look at the keywords and the SEOs, and you're making sure everything works well, it's very easy. But the product has to be good and has to be something that people look for sure. If you have something that people are not looking for, you're not going to be. We know, for example, that we have a really great product because people keep telling us. We have reviews all the time, and that's another key point, to get reviews as much as you can. Like ask, like for 10% off for your next order, please write a review of that also really helps, because it helps all the algorithms and the machines in the back to reference your product on Amazon and on your store as well, and on Google. So those are all things that are super important.
With all the competition on Amazon, if you're not native to one, like how do you balance the pricing? I assume that when you comes with the BSR Amazon, the best seller ranking, you have to be lower enough to be able to recognize on top 100, right? So if you make it too low as a retail brand, it's going to hurt the retail's audience perspective. They'll just go for like they'll just go for Amazon and never come to retail. So what are the strategies that you would use to do the pricing?
Yeah, for us, it's a good, retailers will look at how we sell online. So on your Shopify store or on your Amazon, they'll look at the price. And then some stores like Costco, for instance, they'll want to be the lowest price everywhere. So including online. So you don't want to offer a price that's, you do promotions. So that's what we do. That's how we get like our product to rank higher, because you do promotions more. We're trying not to do too much promotions because we don't want people to only buy on promotions, but that's how we're going. And ads, like paying for ads and SEOs, optimizing your product, your feed, having the website there on Amazon, not just the actual product, making sure you're in FBA. That's all the things that are important, that make you rank highest. But the best is ads. If you want to make sure the price, for us, it's higher, but it's because all the retailers are looking at us right now and they'll want lower, and we can't do that. And we're a premium product. It's all natural ingredients. Beverages normally are all extracts and flavors, so those are cheap. Us, it's very expensive, and it's high quality. It's premium ingredients. It's like drinking a salad, basically, a kale salad or something. So it's really healthy. It's really good for you. So we don't want our price to be too low, because then people will have the perception that it's cheap. So what did you put in there? It's bad for me, or it's all the other beverages, and that's not what we are. So price is a strategy of who's my consumer, what are they looking for, and and then the retail strategy. Like, am I more in retail? Am I more in food service? Am I more e-commerce? And then looking at all that. And the key point of, the retailers look at your price. So if you're like at $2 online, but you sell $3 everywhere else, that's not going to fly. They're going to want $2 or $1.50.
That's another one. I've seen Israel Fire. What Israel is doing is his brand, Born by Stindy Joseph, he used his lotion as a loose leader to go onto Amazon. And then they use that lotion as in like, hey, you buy a lotion, now you need a moisturizer, you need like a extract as well, right? And then they use a loose leader and then stuff them with like insert card and promotion from the packaging and get them to buy on Amazon, on the Shopify site. I assume that's just a nice strategy. But what you have there is amazing there. And you use your pricing, knowing what do they want, and that the premium brand like yours, you shouldn't be lower ball by yourself. That's a nice strategy as well. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you could also do like special flavors also. So if there's a unique flavor, let's say, that's only available on Amazon, then you can play with the price a bit more, right? You could do that strategy. That's if you have a retailer that Costco wants to come and buy you, then you could do a special packaging too. So if there's differences, then that's fine. If it's the exact same product, then that's when it's complicated. But if you do special fragrances, special packaging, like a 12-pack box or a pyramid or something that's different for them, then you can play with the price with them too.
Yeah, like a gift box or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. How you're also a coach. Like, can you tell us a bit like how do you become a coach?
Yeah, I went to university and I studied to be a professional and business coach at Concordia University. And I had mentors and we had to coach people. We had to do business cases and things like that. And then I specialized. You can specialize in many different areas with that program, but I really specialized in business because that's what I love doing. I've always loved business. I've had businesses. I started my first business when I was 9 years old. I was walking dogs. I made little business cards, and I'm not super young. So back in the day, it was I had to go to the print shop, and I went there with my bicycle, and they were like, oh my God, tiny, and I was really small. So tiny 9-year-old walking dogs. And I was going after pit bulls and all the things. And the people were like, you're going to walk my pit bull? I'm like, yeah. And I was always playing store. So I wasn't playing dolls. So it's always part of my DNA. So when I discovered, but I didn't know. So when I discovered business, like the real fiber, like it really was aligned with my passions, my visions and everything. That's when I was like, okay, this is what I love doing. And so adding business coaching to that, helping people, what I didn't get when we started, like that to me, it drives me so much. I learn from my coaches, and I can give back things that I know, and from podcasts, and asking questions. But it's also connecting people with their purpose and their true goals. And most often, what I feel is that people are stuck in thinking that they have to work so hard and be busy all the time. And busy is not. It doesn't do anything to be busy. You can be busy doing nothing, it's not, it doesn't help you. So how do you align with your energy? Because your energy is the thing that will pay you the most. How do you make sure your energy is always, how do you make sure your mindset's the best? Because if you don't have the mindset, the roller coaster ride of business, it'll knock you down, and it will knock you down really deep, and you don't want that. So there's going to be challenges. There's going to be struggles. But I don't even see him like that anymore. It's just, okay, let's get this. Okay, something, all right. And so how are we going to get out from that? Okay, and then you think creatively. So how do you always think creatively? How do you connect with that deep, energy that you have in you for anything? Like anything can happen to you, and you'll be okay. Being at that point where you trust you'll get out of any situation, you'll be stronger for it. You'll learn. You never fail. You always learn, or you win, and you keep going, and you have that energy to keep striving. And then knowing that sometimes you have to step back. Sometimes you do have to take a break. Like, yeah, it's a Tuesday afternoon and you're going shopping. That's fine, because it's your business. It's in your body. It's in everywhere. So you're always working on it. And then you're shopping or buying something, and you get an idea that you wouldn't have gone in if you didn't get yourself to that space, right? To that stressless place. So it's all tricks like that I've learned along the way, and by helping other businesses. And it can be businesses in everything. I have a gym, I have a technology company, I have a software company, I have beverage companies, I have all sorts of food companies. And food I know a little bit more of, for sure, because I'm in the industry. But it's very similar. If you have a beauty care product, if you have any product that you can give. But even service companies, I have a designer, so, it's really looking first at the entrepreneur, what they need, what's their best way for them to be the best version of themselves, and then what tools. So it's like coaching, but mentorship in a combined. And then the mentorship part is like, okay, do you have these tools? Do you know about this? Do you have the grants? Do you have the, how are you structuring your company? Who helps you? Who's with you? What's your support system? Because that's super important too. So it's all looking at those things that are super important. I'm always learning constantly. Like I work with the podcast, I work with the class in my head. So I'm always, gaining new knowledge, and I love to share it if they don't know, or if they need it. Like it's part of me too. So I'm doing a lot of the stuff I love, basically beverage and coaching.
Amazing. Just look at what Leila just been talking in the past 20 minutes. She shared a lot of insight that that she's full of insightful golden nugget in her mind. So I'm sure that is going to be very helpful.
Yeah.
Leila, what kind of practices or habits do you follow to maintain a healthy balance between personal wellness and running a company?
Yeah, absolutely. That's super important. So a general hygiene of all the things in all the spheres of your life. And I don't believe in work-life balance. And I think that shifts all the time, every day. So it's finding your balance in the moment, basically. So how I do it is I make sure that, my house is fine. My kids are, I'm prioritizing them. I'm prioritizing me also. And then, there's the business. So it's all trying to find, okay, today, what does that look like? And asking yourself that question when you get up in the morning. Today, what does that look like for me? Am I going walking? I always walk every day, 10K, 20K minimum. Like I love walking. It's for my mental health. Also, I get the best ideas. Instead of scrolling on, social media, I just walk and scroll, or I put a podcast, or, So, and it helps me, release the stress. It helps me come up with the best ideas. So that's super, no matter what, like even if it's 11 o'clock, I didn't get my steps in, I put them in. And I love outside. It gives me a lot more energy than if I walk on a walking pad, but whatever works for you. As long, sometimes I walk around and I'm on the phone and I'm in the office or walking around in circles, but at least it gets the juices going. Like eating as much as you can, as well as you can. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I never overstuff myself. I don't always eat. I don't always snack, because I find that the digestion's always going, all your energy is going to digestion instead of going to being performant and vibrant and full of energy. And I've discovered that the energy is your best currency, like in everything. So people connect to your energy, connect to you. So if your energy's high and you're happy and all that stuff, it gives to everybody, to yourself, to your family, to your house, to your business, so to your colleagues, to your partners, to your friends. So that's the thing I'm always the most mindful of, is how today can I keep my energy high? So it looks different and from day to day, but mostly, drinking a lot of water, not having too much alcohol consumptions. I try to drink TheHealTea instead, and going to sleep at right times and all those simple things. But, and it really is the mindset. Sometimes I get 2 hours of sleep and I'm fine the next day. Like there's no down energy or whatever. I don't tell myself like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I didn't sleep enough. I don't say those things. It's like, no, I have the energy today. I'm able, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's changing the way you speak to yourself, I think, is the most important thing. So even you can have burger and fries and a poutine here in Quebec and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be so stuffed. But no, you can limit yourself. You can have a few bites and not overeat, and you're going to be fine. You're not going to gain weight from that. You're like, oh no, I feel good. I'm happy. I ate, it was satisfying. I ate just enough and I'll be fine. So really the words you tell yourself and the thoughts you think, that's the most important part.
True, that's so true. Being maintained as like peak performance. I mean, that is what it takes to really, get ourselves into habit and to get the energy out there to connect with people.
100%.
Hey Leila, so if we want to connect with you, like where can they find you?
Yeah, the best place, I'm often on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, Leila Cairns, I'm there. So the name is at the bottom. You can connect there. If not, you can email me. It's Leila at TheHealTea.com. We can connect there as well. But anywhere, even info at TheHealTea gets to me. Any social media from Drink TheHealTea works as well. So it all gets to me.
All right, I'll make sure that I put the TheHealTea website in the show notes. So if you guys want how to contact her, you guys can just find in the show notes. That website today's episode on Digital E-commerce Podcast. A huge thanks to Leila for sharing her inspiring journey and mission-driven brand, and also her coaching. For everyone who's looking to create something meaningful and impactful, and if you're ready to transform your business and your mindset, be sure to connect with Leila and explore TheHealTea amazing product. And don't forget, Digital E-commerce Podcast for more actionable tips. Signing out. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Thanks so much.